Hi there, it's Nicole for Simon Says Stamp, and this video is showcasing a heart banner for Valentine's Day decor. I'm using lots of Simon Says Stamp product here. I went through the Simon Says Stamp stamps and dies and picked a whole bunch of things and kind of tried to work them out and see what worked together. And what I picked for the base of my heart banner or garland here are the nested heart dies, and I'm using those in several different sizes. These are perfect for creating some really fun heart decor items for lots of different types of home decor, really, but especially for Valentine's Day. And I went with a pretty neutral color scheme. I love cream and golds together. And so I really went with that color scheme, but I think this would be a beautiful project in reds and pinks as well. I'm going to start by die cutting some hearts from some of the ivory cardstock, or I think it's off ivory. This is Simon Says Stamp cardstock as well. The exact color is going to be linked below in the supplies, but I'm going to need 2 per size. And that's because I want to put them back to back to make them just a tiny bit sturdier. Plus, if I have anything going through them or whatever, like I'm going to thread them through on some twine, I definitely want them to be secure. For this first big heart, I'm also using the hydrangea petals, die cut not only from cream cardstock, but vellum as well. I'm going to layer those together. And then my greeting for this particular heart is the Hey Love greeting. This is one of the brand new ones from the Hey Love release. And I didn't have the exact color of cardstock I wanted, but the Simon Says Stamp metallic khaki envelopes was exactly the color that I thought would look incredible with this off ivory color of cardstock. And so I just kind of pulled the envelope apart, and I'm using the envelope for the greeting here. I'm going to use it in a couple places throughout the banner, but I die cut my Hey Love greeting from that. I'm going to go ahead and layer my hydrangea petals together and kind of see what works. I want a really full flower. This is not something that's going to be going through the mail. This is home decor. So where a lot of times I'm really concerned with putting something too bulky on a card, this is where I get to play with all of those embellishments. I think it's so fun to go through my stash and pick some of those fun things like Tim Holtz metal embellishments. I'm going to use some of those here on my banner. The kind of thick wood enamel dots here, I guess they're not really enamel dots, they're wood dots. Something else that's been in my stash for a long time. And go ahead and pull these things out and use them. This is a great kind of project to use some of those fun things that you might have in your crafting stash. The vellum is a really fun way to add some layer without adding another color, which is what I didn't want to do. I really wanted to keep everything with this cream and gold color scheme. Putting a little bit of some EK Success liquid glue behind my greeting. It's really, really light. You can also maybe somewhat see a little bit of a stamped greeting underneath there. Originally, I stamped it in kind of a light pink. This was before I realized that that was not going to work with the banner that I was working on. But I decided not to cut another heart, but I'm going to just cover it up instead with some other stamping. I'm going to use the exact same greeting, but I will stamp it with some black ink because I wanted it to really show up. The greeting will be stamped with the W+9 Biggest Fan stamp set, and it will read, I just love you, ... You'll see that in a minute. I didn't catch it on film. I don't know what happened there, but there it is, and it really shows up. Gonna go ahead and put my hearts back to back like I was talking about earlier so that there's 2 layers. It's going to make them much sturdier. You could even add 3 if you thought it needed to have a little bit more stability. Nothing I'm putting on my hearts is too terrible heavy, and I will use a little hot glue gun to secure everything before I go ahead and display it. In my MISTI, I'm going to remove the insert, and I've got some other hearts here to use the Simon Says stamp Love Is Background to create my own pattern paper text background hearts. Stamping those with black ink, I think it's going to look really fun. These ended up being some of my favorite hearts for the banner. I love creating my own text pattern paper. Text background stamps are going to be perfect for this technique. Also would be super fun for cards. So I'll have a couple of those here. On one of them, I've die cut some of those hydrangea petals again from that metallic khaki envelope that I pulled apart earlier for the Hey Love title. Those actually are the same color. It's just kind of hard to tell. The Hey Love looks so much lighter. I'm using glue dots to secure my flower, but again, when I go ahead and finish up my banner, I did squirt some hot glue behind those layers to hold it in place so I didn't have to worry about it maybe falling or coming apart, since this is a home decor project. On another piece of that ivory cardstock, I'm stamping a couple greetings from an older Simon Says stamp set, the Made By, and using the From My Heart and then the little Made with Love label. Stamping those with Versamark ink and using the Simon Says stamp gold embossing powder for both of those. Heat set those and cut them into little strips. I just used a scrap of cardstock. You can see I've die cut some little flowers from it already. I think it has a stitched border. It was probably going to be used for something else, and it was in my scrap folder. So just using up lots and lots of scraps here. I think, in fact, all of my ivory cardstock, I didn't have a single full 8.5 by 11 sheet. So I went through my scrap file and pulled everything I could find. I'm using some of these awesome little stick pins from Tim Holtz. Had them forever. I love using them in home decor. I'm sticking a couple of them behind, or one of them behind the flower here, with another trinket pin that I had from my stash. Lots of gold metallic die cut hearts using the mini hearts stamps, or die set rather, from Simon Says stamp, and the nesting hearts. One of them is the smallest nesting heart to finish off my large main big heart in that heart garland or banner. I like a little addition there. I thought it was a little plain after I started putting together a few of the others. I felt like it needed just a little something. The gold glitter hearts you can see there were die cut with one of the other nesting heart dies from that same set. I'm threading through a little string here that's kind of cream with a gold metallic thread through it. And to make the banner, I'm punching holes with my Crop-A-Dile in both sides and threading through all of my little banner pieces or heart pieces. I think that one went through the wrong way. The gold glitter hearts are just 2 gold glitter die cut hearts glued back to back. No embellishment on these other than the great gold glitter. Adds some nice texture to the card. Here's that hot glue gun. I'm sorry, it's a little bit out of frame. I was just squirting a little bit of glue underneath my flower, underneath those petals, to really make it nice and secure. And I have a clear button. Originally, I thought I'd use an enamel dot, but this clear button just had a little bit more sparkle to it. And then I'm sticking my trinket pins back behind into that hot glue, which is really going to secure those. I've put one of those little embossed greeting strips in that stick pin from Tim Holtz. I think they're so fun to stick little pins in to hold fun little greetings. I probably put a little bit more glue in there to secure that. You can see one of the stick pins went through to the inside heart, but I'll stick those back to back so I don't have to worry about that sticking anybody, and that's going to secure it really nice. Little hot glue in the center, and I'll just glue my button in place. On the other text heart, I've got these metal numbers. I think they're Tim Holtz. They may not be. I have had them forever, and I just lucked out that I actually had a 1 and a 4 for 14. And I will be gluing those to the center of that other heart. Go ahead and thread through my text heart here on the left side of the main biggest heart banner. I'll go ahead and finish the left side. I've got another heart just a little bit smaller. This one's going to be cream. Hot glue this fun little arrow in place. And then also from the Hey Love recent release, there's this adorable little heart with wings that I die cut both from the gold glitter paper and gold foil paper. And I'm going to hot glue it to the center of that arrow. And what I did for that gold heart was just cut off the wings with my scissors and glue it on top of the gold glitter. I did use hot glue to do that because it's a little bit hard to sometimes get glue to stick to a glitter cardstock, and I wanted to make sure it was nice and secure. Go ahead and punch my holes in these hearts as well. I'm going to thread that one on next and finish with a gold glitter heart on that side. And then I can finish up the right side of the banner. Here are those metallic, or metal rather, numbers. I think it would also be fun to just die cut some numbers. You could even put several layers of die cut numbers on top of each other and finish with some glossy accents or something like that if you don't have metal numbers like this. Then I have another stick pin that I went through the middle of the heart here, and I've die cut a bunch of the mini flowers and leaves from cream cardstock, vellum, and that metallic khaki envelope. The khaki metallic paper is going to be the leaves. The vellum and the cream will be the flowers, and they're so teeny tiny and so cute. I love these little flowers. So fun for lots of different things. I'm just going to create a scattering of those on this heart and finish off the heart with some Hero Arts pearl gems in the middle, the little teeny tiny ones. I like to use a craft knife to pick those up and place those right where I want them to go. I'm using bling glue dots to attach all these little heart pieces. You could use liquid adhesive too if you wanted to. I try to keep away from liquid adhesive when possible because I tend to make a mess with it. Those little pearls, go with the color scheme, finish off the flowers perfectly, add some nice texture. I thought I might try to add them other places, and I decided not to do that. Just trying to figure out where to place a few additional pearls kind of around the flowers. Finish with a few more on the other side of the heart. Once I have that in place, I'm going to thread those all through my twine, and my banner is finished. I knotted the ends of it, and I'm hanging it kind of below my fireplace mantle, but these photos show you all of the finished hearts. I hope this has inspired you to use some of your card making and paper crafting stamps and dies and supplies to create some home decor items for the holidays. Thanks for joining me today for this heart banner showcasing Simon Says stamps and dies. The supplies I've used to create this banner are listed and linked below the video here on YouTube. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time.